Okay, sidebar now in the courtroom. Once again, we're watching our continuing coverage of the Michael Jackson death trial. We have our experts with us, criminal defense attorney John Manuelian, also with us Ann Fitz. John, you with us?
Yes, I am.
Hey, John, let's go on the prosecution side, though. Once again, I think it was, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, early on in Rochelle Cooper's testimony again today, Dr. Cooper makes the point again that Dr. Murray never mentioned propofol to her, and we know from previous testimony he never mentioned the paramedics as well. That's still a good point for the prosecution, isn't it?
It is, but remember, the whole cross-examination is trying to get out that the amount of propofol that was in Conrad Murray's system was gone. So if they could show that Murray was frantic and that he was telling the doctor what he thought was the important information, specifically the lorazepam and the other medications, then they could explain why Dr. Murray never told Dr. Cooper that propofol was in the system. Remember, they're going to have an expert by the name of Dr. Paul White, who's a self-professed expert on propofol. He's going to testify that with Michael Jackson's weight, which was 150 pounds, you could give up to 130 milligrams of propofol without it being dangerous. Dr. Murray only gave 25 milligrams of propofol, and Rochelle Cooper testified that she would give 60 milligrams of propofol. So it makes Dr. Murray's amount seem very, very small. Okay,
again, doing the job from the defense side. I still think he left the room, and you're not supposed to do that when someone's on propofol. That's going to be a prosecution point continued. Yeah, let's get back to court, guys. We're covering this from so many facets. We have Natisha Land. She'll be joining us from Los Angeles, producer from the Nancy Grace Show. Also with us, criminal defense attorney, former prosecutors, John Manuelian and Ann Fitz. Ann, I'll start with you. John, let's let you weigh in. You agree with Ann? You think the defense made some inroads? Or do you think the jury's coming away with Murray didn't properly monitor, period?
I think you both are right. I think that Flanagan scored some points by showing the amount of the milligrams of propofol weren't as high as, say, Dr. Cooper would give, so that's a point for the defense. But on the prosecution side, they did show that Dr. Cooper did say that there wasn't proper monitoring equipment, and she would have had somebody watch. So it was a double-edged sword. It worked both for the prosecution and the defense.
Got it. Okay, let's bring in Natisha Lance in on the conversation. John, let's get John Manuelian in here. Maybe you can break the tie here.
Brilliant. She did a brilliant job. And I agree with you 100%.
She did?
Thank you.
And that's the key, and she's right on the money. Basically, different environment, different setting, and also, remember, Dr. Paul White is going to testify, who's the father of propofol, that the amounts that he gave Michael Jackson were very minimum, and that everything that he did properly. So it's not going to really come down to Dr. Cooper. It's going to come down to the defense experts. And again, I've been saying this since day one. It's the battle of the experts. Who do you believe? If you believe the defense experts, then that's what it's going to take to get a reasonable doubt acquittal on this case.
Right. It only takes one. Let's get Natisha in on this. John, I'll start with you on this one. So, I mean, that's good for the defense. When you can get out there, again, this is their story. Only 25 milligrams may not even have put Michael Jackson to sleep. And he could have gotten up and self-administered, right?
Absolutely, and I suspect that when Dr. Paul White takes the stand as an expert for the defense, that is going to say that based on Michael Jackson's weight, which was 150 pounds, you would need to give him 130 milligrams of propofol in order for it to become dangerous. He was only given 25 milligrams, so in context, it was a relatively very small amount. And if it's a small amount, then there's no gross negligence.
Okay, John Manuelian and just use them cover up. I mean, come on. Why are you hiding the propofol if you only gave 25 milligrams?
I can't believe a criminal defense attorney used the word cover-up. Here's the thing. Here's the big problem. The problem is the cardiac arrest. He claims that Michael Jackson went to cardiac arrest in front of him, but as far as not mentioning the propofol, I think it goes to a state of mind. That could easily be explained if Conrad Murray takes a stand and says that he was frantic, he didn't tell him about the propofol because it had dissipated from the system, which will be corroborated by Dr. White. There won't be a problem as to that, but the other aspect of it, the cardiac arrest, is very problematic.
Okay, guys, there you go. Let's get back into the courtroom. Here we go.